didn't see hope. I didn't see a future.
We had this conversation in the hallway, and you said, hey, I found out what's wrong with me. I'm bipolar.
I really have been fighting for the last 18 years with this disease. Mania, depression, psychosis, hallucinations, all that's still there. I just know how to cope with it, and I know how to beat it.
When you see a lot of mental illness, that's a clue that the culture is sick.
You're watching a clip from the documentary The Ripple Effect, a story about Kevin Hines' struggle with mental illness and his miraculous survival following a suicide attempt. At age 19, Hines attempted suicide by jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. Somehow he survived and now advocates for people with mental illness. He'll be in town this week to talk about suicide prevention following a screening of The Ripple Effect. And joining me now are the youth leaders from Please Pass the Love, Jalen Nielsen and Ardith Binu, as well as Emily Bolin. As we said, all from Please Pass the Love. This is a nonprofit organization that works in schools to try to get mental health curriculum and mental health care introduced within the school system, right?
Yes, yep. So we started about 5 years ago after realizing there was such a big need for more mental health supports, not just for our students, but for our teachers as well. We see, they're the front lines of helping these students. And so we have a couple of different avenues. We have our youth programming, which Ardith and Jalen will touch on. And then we do our comprehensive school mental health training. We work with educators across the state and kind of go at it with a wraparound approach to really get them the tools that they need to be able to help these kids. We know that suicide is the second leading cause of death for our young people, and it's an epidemic, and it's a crisis that we need to work together to change.
So, Jalen, tell me a little bit about what you do on the Youth Advocate Board.
So on the Youth Advisory Board, what we do is we have meetings every month where it's 24 students around Iowa who just kind of talks about what can we do in our schools, what more can we do, how can we advocate, how can we advertise that mental health is okay for youth and that talking about it is completely open and okay and safe to do. So we have events all over the place most of the time, and it just helps youth to realize that, hey, you're not alone. We're helping you in this battle against this stigma.
And probably bring up some very important points that the adults don't think about.
Most of the time we give a perspective that a lot of adults don't really understand because they're not living in our schools as much as we are. And so sometimes those eye-opening ideas, it kind of shocks adults sometimes to hear what we have to say.
Ardith, what do you see in the schools? What are some of the things that you've seen firsthand because of mental illness or because somebody is having suicidal thoughts?
Yeah, all these mental illnesses, they all lead to different thoughts and different actions, and they all have different consequences, and oftentimes the person who has that specific mental illness may show signs, but they may actually need help, but oftentimes we don't recognize that as a society. It's gotten better. We've taken the first step of actually understanding that it is becoming a problem, and it is a problem, and that we're trying to overcome it now. So that allows us to actually take the next steps and treat all these problems and continue to improve mental health for everyone.
Sometimes all it takes is one person saying something. We want to show another segment of the documentary that's going to be shown later this week. This is from The Ripple Effect and Kevin Hines.
I've heard people say, well, hope is not an action plan. Well, it's a start. Got to 10,000 Marines in 2 days. If you see someone in pain, please say something. It is about all of us coming together, utilizing the power of our voices. You're going to get the help you need.
We've got a story to tell. Get the voices out there.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. Thank you. We're all helping. We're all one part of a big team. We just need to realize it.
Just the trailer from this documentary is so compelling and so inspiring. Why did you want to bring Kevin Hines and The Ripple Effect here?
Sure. Kevin's our keynote speaker for our conference on Thursday, and we know from seeing him talk before and reading his books that he has such an amazing, powerful story to share. And we wanted to bring him in for a youth-only screening to let kids know it's okay if you struggle. It's okay to not be okay. It's not something you have to be ashamed of to talk about, and hearing his story of hope and survival to let them know to push on and to keep going.
And such incredible timing considering the violence over the
Yes.
weekend. So this is where you can go to see The Ripple Effect. Tomorrow this is an adult screening from 6 p.m. to 8:30.
Yep.
And then Thursday is the free youth only screening from 1:30 to 4 o'clock. Where is it again?
Yep, so it's at the Iowa Event Center, downtown Des Moines. Kevin will be there to do a question and answer with the youth only screening, so it's a really great time for them to reach out and actually meet him and talk to him too.
And if you want more information, go to pleasepassTheLove.org, a great organization.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being
Yeah,
here.
thanks
and
for having
thanks
us.
for your involvement. You're doing a great thing. And we will be right back.